Dave Duncan or someone. And when I came back, I did the trick. He said, "How'd you do that?" Jesus helped me to realize how to do it. And because I was praying to Jesus help me figure this out. I looked at one of his hands at least 5 times, and I didn't notice anything going on. And then I watched the other hand, and I think that was the 6th time, and I noticed some movement. And then I said, what if I... And then in 2 weeks, I got real smooth at it. And remember to bring extra rubber bands. I'm sure Copperfield and every magician has learned this, because the heat from the sun, or the body from your heat that God created heat for your body to stay warm, it's the God's divine. Anyway, we've learned also in space someone gets cut and they need stitches and they need to get back home, but they found out that they didn't need to get home right away because they went to take the tape off or the band-aid off, and it wasn't too long that he cut himself. The whole body went in warp speed, and he didn't need stitches. It healed up. It's because God's divine, the way that God spoke everything into existence. The space, the stars, and he names all the stars, and he took literally 6 days to get it done. He could have did it in an instant if he wanted to, but he wanted to do it exactly in 6 days. Because he can do it any way he wants, but he did it in literal 6 days. I always want to know that, but thanks to Rick Tozer's message all this week in Evangelist, that's one thing I got out of that. I mean, others got the heart right. A lot of people, they got saved, all that stuff. That is good. I mean, I'm saved, but I've learned a lot. Even Roy just said he learned a lot. And Bob Schofield, and as Pastor Mike Astor said that Mark Taylor says, like Mark Taylor says, it hurts so good. Anyway, and Friend Day, Ron Comfort really moved people and they got saved and all that stuff. And, see, baptism don't save you. Taking the Lord's Supper don't take you. I mean, it's important to take that, but that don't save you. Baptism don't save you. Even baby baptism don't save you. Joining a church, or because your parents go to church. I mean, doing good works outweighs your bad. That doesn't work at all. It's by asking Jesus to forgive you of your sins that you committed, and to come into your heart and save you. It's so simple. It's not rocket science. Even a kid can put the manual in. Anyway, you could say a prayer like this. Jesus, please forgive me for all the sins that I committed, and come into my heart and save me. That's all you got to do. I mean, it's so simple, I don't know why anybody don't do it. And you got to really mean it, because God knows the heart. He created everything, included humans. Humans, he didn't speak it in existence. Everything else he did. But for man, he created man. And then he took a rib and made woman a helpmate for Adam. A man and a woman. And Adam says, since he's a helpmate, I'll call her woman. So you got Adam and Eve. Adam the boy, Eve the girl. He molded out of dirt. And as Bob Schofield says, God put that tree of knowledge for a test. But see, he knew we were going to fail, but he was hoping we wouldn't. But he knew we were going to fail because he knows all, sees all. So he had a plan to send his son to come down as a baby. But keep in mind, Jesus is God, because you got an egg, and you got the egg shell, and you got the egg whites, and then you got the yellow yolk. All three make one egg. I learned that from Good News in 1980s on up. And I stress it on the internet, on social media everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Google, email, and everybody likes that analogy. And then Richard Phoebus used it in Sunday school as a football. The different layers of football, the different thing to represent the Holy Spirit and I forgot the Trinity. I forgot, but anyway, he stressed that's how the layers of a football. But anyway, not the soccer football, but an oblong football. Because there's another country that call a soccer a football. What we call a soccer ball, but they call it a football. I wonder what they call a football that we call football. That's a good mystery in itself. Anyway, you get the idea. Trying to think what else. See, thumb tips. See, this is another kind of thumb tip, but I've wore it out. It's made out of plastic, and it's a Burnett too. The other was made out of rubber, but both you can see is flesh tone. There are metal kinds too, but they don't look as flesh tone as the others unless you happen to get one that really looks like flesh tone. One magician said if you got the perfect misdirection, he had one that was camouflaged, and he had the perfect misdirection. They didn't even know he had it on him. So it doesn't matter. For abbots, they wanted an outline of your thumb, and you say if you're what color, race you are. Although in God's eyes, we're all one race, we're God's race. But I know why the abbots did that, because they got to know the right flesh tone for the thumb. So my mom put Caucasian, but no, they actually got it right. It was the right color for it. But if I would have said white, I don't know if they would give me a white color thumb tip, or would they give me like this. But my mom said Caucasian and put right thumb. Anyway, it worked. But they needed an outline of your thumb, so my mom made sure to draw a perfect outline. My mom, Darlene. Anyway. I've had a Abbott Super X levitation, and I had then Chuck Winley wanted it and traded it for a sub-trunk that a church pastor didn't need it anymore. It was in the back, and then added $16 more, and Dave paid that much, and then when I was able to pay him back, I paid him back, paid Dave Duncan back the money, and now everything's all set. And then Mr. Duncan got the material, and we repainted it and everything, and now it's a good thing we did. I let my friend Tony Culpepper and his wife and children, or child at the time, they might have more, to take hold of it, because there's no way I could put that upstairs. It's too steep. All houses are the same, my dad said, because they used to be part of the military base, but now it's just for civilian people. He should know that, because he worked in the Navy and on aircraft carriers, and a cook or a chef in the Navy. But he also did dangerous missions too. But anyway, I didn't know the dangerous mission part until my mom told me that. And it said it was a need-to-know basis, and you didn't need to know, but now that you're older, you can know about it. Oh, okay. And by that time, my mom's by herself with Cheryl and Stacy, so she's not exactly by herself. My dad went to heaven a few days before Thanksgiving, year 2010. I'm glad he's a born-again Christian, because he asked Jesus in his heart. And we're all saved. I'm just hoping my nephew William, if he's not saved yet, and his girlfriend Janelle, that's now his wife, hopefully they'll get saved. Because the way things are going, they're slowly coming into the cashless world, and the money, and U.S. money, is becoming obsolete. and people have to start paying for the plastic bags, or you bring those reusable bags for your food. Already Best Buy and Chesapeake are saying if you need a bag, it's going to cost you. Already they're starting it. And they're having artificial AI computers. They shut down the computers to put the artificial intelligent computers in there. They're having the little bugs in there, but they're, working out the kinks. I learned working on getting the bugs out from Pastor Nathaniel Brown. He's a computer whiz. You know that TV show called Whiz Kid that works on computers and solve crimes? That's Nathaniel Brown right there. He's really good with computers. He's so good, he'll blow your mind. Him and Jimmy Pierce, they're really good at knowing the computer left and right. And okay, let's see, what else can I do? Oh, well, yeah. Everybody's doing 3-card Monte, and I was praying to Jesus to help me find my own version of Collar Monte, and this is what Jesus helped me to come up with. I can't. Anyway. Notice this is slightly different than this. This is slightly different than this. I don't know if you can see that. Let me show you what I mean. Well, if I can get it right. Notice this is slightly different. This is slightly different. This is slightly different. Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. This is slightly different. This is slightly different. And this is slightly different. Even though they're all different, I don't know if it'll show that right or not. Even though they're all different, they're all the same. I don't know what they call it the old Jack of Club trick, because really it's the old Joker trick. And I give a little rub, and all of a sudden, the Jack's there, the 8 of Hearts there, and the Joker. And Mark Taylor, youth director, classic Joker, clown and fun since 1980s on up. Before that, he was a Coast Guard in the boiler room, but God called him to be youth director for Good News in 1980, the Pastor Ward Mac Palmer days. Anyway, the founding pastor of Dallas Angeles. Then after Pastor Ward Mac Palmer then became Pastor Walt Coles, and then after that it's Pastor Mike Asher and his wife Renee Asher and their 11 children. And youth director Mark Taylor said, "Wow, enough to play a game of football." The founding pastor of Dallas Angeles, we knew him a little bit, me and my parents, but then all of a sudden, magically, Pastor Ward and Mac Palmer appeared. He's cool. I mean, he had some problems, but I think he worked out his problems, and now he's back with the Lord, and we still care for him. Anyway, I told Pastor Coles once he took over, Walter Coles, that he was the cure comb. He was the cure comb and Band-Aids to heal our church up. And then later on, David Morose got called to be a full-time pastor somewhere because he was assistant pastor. Before that was Rusty Jarrett, assistant pastor, but now Rusty is like a missionary in a store somewhere, just like Rick Tozer said his dad was a missionary in Home Depot. Anyway, now Pastor Mike Asher became assistant pastor, and then later on he became a full-time our full-time pastor of Good News. He's a senior pastor. and Pastor Coles still helps out in the church when he can, and so can Jan Coles. They make our day. And he gives good advice for Pastor Asher, and likewise Pastor Asher gives good advice for Pastor Coles. And they both recognize each other and shake hands. Anyway, that's nice. And Ned Davis has helped out. Ken Hendrick and his family had to help out their family because their parents or grandparents were not in the best of shape. They needed help, so they moved to where they could help them out. And they come and visit once in a while and be part of the choir or the drums and all that stuff. And on the side, Ken Hendrick has got his cheesecake pastry business. That's it, yeah. But he slowly wants to get back as a Christian musician. His mentor is Ned Davis, and then God led Ned Davis to join our church, and then later on became full-time music director. I thought that's pretty neat. Ken Hendrick is the one that started doing the bells, where people practice ringing the bells and make it easier. He put a color code, and so everybody could do it, and they've gotten real good at it. And now Ned Davis does it too. It's kind of neat. Anyway, here's how to do my 3-card Monte idea. Bob says you should call it color Monte or some other thing, he said. But I said, if I say color Monte, it kind of might give it away. And Bob said, yeah, you're right. And then he said it could be so. Anyway, that's why I say 3-card Monte. Anyway, what you do is you get 3 different denomination of cards. In other words, 3 different denominations, and then different kind of backs, and you do the plus station count. You show it that it's all the same, but you don't stress it. You just show the cards, and you say, notice this is slightly different, that's slightly different, that's slightly different, and they'll agree. Then you flip it this way, show that's slightly different, that's slightly different, that's slightly different. Then you square it up and say, huh?
Oh, paper.
Then you slowly do the plus station count this way. And then snap
you want a small salad, Billy?
Yeah, small salad would be good.
Okay.
And then you
small bologna.
Small bologna. Yeah.
When you had lunch at breakfast.
And then you go like this, rubbing for effect. And everybody likes to see if it magically changes due to heat, friction, or whatever. And they're like, how did you do that? Anyway, you get the idea. Very funny. See, it's 12:06 p.m. I think that's what I'm seeing. 12:06 p.m.
Okay.
See, I got the dime, the nickel, and the penny. You're being funny. I lay this on the table or someone else's hand, and I say I take the dime and the nickel, and I put it in my hand. Okay, I'll take the penny and I put it in my pocket, and then magically the pennies come back. Now I'll take the penny, put it in my hand, and I'll take the dime and the nickel and put it in my pocket and squeeze the penny, and now it's changed to a quarter. Now I'll take the quarter, and I say Bob calls it wiffle dust, pixie dust, wiffle dust, but Bob calls it wiffle dust. And when I go like this, the quarter is changed to a ball bearing. Bob Scofield used to do this in the 1980s with a yellow dice, a red dice, and a green dice. And then for the finale, a red rubber ball. But I didn't, he let me borrow it or have it, I can't remember. I don't know if I gave it back to him or if he gave it to me and I lost it in the shuffle. So he just helped me figure a way by using the coins the same way. And then I didn't have a rubber ball, but I had a ball bearing. So if a red rubber ball, I'd do that. He did that right by the right side pew about midway where the window was. And I was like, how'd you do that? Now Bob lets me be the magician. He's the bystander and claps with everyone else. But Bob, you're a magician too. No, Bill, you're the magician now. I'm just I give you the props, you perform. Oh, okay, but you got to get recognition. I mean, Fred Stoll taught me how to do things too.
It's not a detached retina.
Oh, it's not? Okay, that's good.
He said my retina's fine.
That's good.
He said the gel in the eye's breaking apart.
Oh, what do you got to do to fix it?
Nothing right now.
Oh,
The gel in the eye is breaking apart. Since it's breaking apart, that's why I'm seeing flashes of light.
light, yeah.
The more it breaks apart, the more I'm going to see a strobe light.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
The more dramatic it gets, now let's see Dr. Keveline. He has brown hair and a mustache and goatee.
You saw Dr. Caroline? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that sounds like him. He knows what he's talking
He's
about.
pretty tall.
Yeah,
brown-
you got him right.
Brown hair,
Yeah,
mustache, goatee.
yeah. His son Aiden does magic tricks. I've helped him out, and
I guess his
they
son-
all are magic
I guess
inclined now.
his son works there.
Yeah, he works there. I mean, during the summer, I think, because during the winter, I don't see him there. Anyway,
Well, his son's short.
yeah, his son is short. Yeah.
I think I see him son. I think I see his son there all year round now.
Oh. Well, maybe he's graduated then by now.
Because he's the one who does Banshee's eyes.
Okay, his son? Wow.
Yes, because when Banshee does his diabetes eye test,
Yeah.
he does this flashes light to. He does these picture flashes light Banshee's eyes.
Yeah. Huh. That's news to me. Well, like father, like son.
The one I'm thinking of, I think it's the one you're telling me he's short anyways. I think that's him. But anyways. The one I'm thinking of, he looks just like his father. But anyways. The more it happens, more of a strobe light effect. Then I'm going to have to go there. They're going to have to do something. If they do a retina surgery, the Dr. Kevlin says, yes, and I was frantic, scared. He says, don't worry, it can be fixed.
That's good.
They do laser surgery.
That's what I'm saying. He did laser on me, and he said, "You trust me?" Yeah. And he did it right there, and I was wide awake. He did one eye at a time.
Well,
For my glaucoma, he had to clear it up. He cleaned it up before it got worse, but I still got to take drops, prevent it from getting worse.
he came to the point.
Yeah.
I says, I don't know what it is. I see flashes of light, or either it's my reflection in my nose, or I see a shadow. He says, don't tell me what you think it is. Tell me what you see.
Yeah.
He came to the point.
Yeah.
Like, you tell me, well, I think it's this, Tommy. I think it's this. Tommy, I think it's this.
Well, in many ways on illusion.
Well,
Yeah.
I tell him, don't tell me what you think, Billy.
Yeah.
Tell me what it is.
Yeah.
I'm coming. So he came out to the point.
Point. Yeah.
I'm coming. I'm telling Billy about my eyes.
He probably recognized you because I gave them
Listen,
our magic show and other magic shows and
when I-
secrets
when
and
I,
stuff.
When I ask you a question, when I say, don't tell me what you think, Billy.
Yeah,
Tell me what it is.
yeah,
So I'm telling him the possibilities. Don't tell me the possibilities. Tell me what you see.
yeah,
So I see flashes of light in my eye. So he wants to tell let him know what I see happening. He don't want me to guess what's happening.
yeah.
He wants me to come to the.
Point to what you see, so he knows
But
exactly.
he was being nice about it.
Yeah,
But he said it can be fixed.
which is good.
I was kind of scared, but he says my retina's fine.
Yeah,
No tears. It's just the.
yeah.
I was telling you about.
Anyway, here's the setup if you want to do the trick. You get a ball or whatever you want to palm in your hand bigger for the finale. And before the finale, have a quarter and have two pennies that looks pretty much the same, that's got the same back and front. And then you have a dime and a nickel. In your pocket, as you take everything out, you try to leave the quarter and the ball bearing in the pocket. In this case, it'd be my right pocket since I do everything with my right. All right. Sometimes I use my left hand, but mainly I use my right. And when I am in my hand, I have the dime, the nickel, and the two pennies. But I secretly have this palm, either thumb palm or a regular palm, and I just dump this on the table. I could have it like this, or I could have it finger palm, like, I don't know if you can see it. It makes your hand look like it's empty when you go like this. Bob Schofield and other people on YouTube even showed me that if you hide your at angles, it looks like you're. I know it was Jay Sankey. He was showing you how Sankey Magic's YouTube channel. If you hold your hand a certain way, they can't see the coin there because it looks empty because you're holding it just like this. Anyway, you show the penny, but you don't show the extra penny in there. In this case, Bob had an extra yellow dice. Alright? You show the penny, the dime, and the nickel. And what you do is you say, I'm going to take the dime and the nickel, and you're putting it in the same hand that the penny's in, and you put it all in the other hand and hurry up and close it. But not so fast that they're wondering why you closed it so fast. Kind of just gradually close it, but turn your hand over. And show the penny and say, I put the penny in my pocket. At the same time you're getting the penny, you're feeling for the quarter. Well, since I got a lot of stuff in my pocket, it's going to take me longer than normal. Anyway, and I thumb palm it, or I can finger palm it, either way. And then I say, magically the pennies come back. Now I say, I'm going to take the penny and put it in my hand, but what I'm going to do is, I'm going to thumb palm the penny, try not to clink the quarter, and drop the quarter into the hand, and say I'm going to take the dime and nickel and put them in my pocket, but actually I'm putting everything, the dime, nickel, and the penny. And then at the same time, I'm going to grab the ball bearing. See, now I got the ball bearing ready for switcheroo. Alright? But they don't know I got a ball bearing in my hand. They think I got the quarter in here. I mean, not the quarter, the penny in here. I said I'm going to squeeze the penny and it changes to a quarter. Now I'm going to take the quarter and put it in my hand, and as I put it, I say, now I'm going to get some wiffle dust. Bob Schofield says he calls it wiffle dust. See, at that time, left the quarter in my pocket, and I'm clean. And they see my hand empty. I don't say my hand's empty. I just gesture with my hand, and then I open my hand, and they go, "Wow, the quarter changed to a ball bearing, or whatever is bigger for the finale." Now you can do that trick. A lot of people ask me, "Can you show me how to do that trick?" Well, now I said I'm gonna put it on YouTube, so you'll know how to do that. I hope all this was helpful. If not, then I rambled for nothing. God bless. John 3:16, Holy King James Bible. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. John 3:16. And what that means is, when you believe in him, that means you got to ask him in your heart. Like I told you in there, you have to ask Jesus to forgive you all your sins and come in heart and save you. The way things are, we've had earthquakes in places never heard of before. California, where Hollywood is, they've had so many everything. Snowstorms, earthquakes, and Yellowstone, the thing erupted and ain't erupted in years. The heat index getting harder. The sun is getting even harder. And as Jesus said, when he gets coming back, the sun's going to be turned extra hot. And scientists said, well, that's weird. The sun is getting a hotter degree than normal. It's usually not like that. And as Pastor Cole said, if they'd read their Bibles, they'd understand about why the protective ozone layer on the earth is opening up, because it's God's timetable. Because he said he'll turn the sun extra hot. That's why the sun used to be yellow in the sky. Now it's a bright, intense white light in the sky. Huh? All right.